Good morning, students. Once again, we are going to continue the applications of Ampere's circuital law. You know that in last two classes, we had finished two applications. The first one was determination of magnetic field due to an infinitely long current carrying wire. And the second application was the determination of magnetic field due to a solenoid. Now we are at the third application, namely toroid. Toroid is also known as a toroidal solenoid. Or this can also be an endless solenoid, or one more name of it is anchor ring. So it can be given either one of the name or any one name. So let us try to define it. Toroid is a hollow circular ring over which a large number of turns of a wire are closely wound. So let us try to see the definition here. Here, this is the definition, what I just said. Toroid is a hollow circular ring over which a large number of circular turns of a wire are closely wound. This is what it is shown here. This is just like tube over which the wires are wound in the form of this, and these should be very close to one another. Though I had drawn it little bit separated, but it should be very close to each other. For this, what we need is hollow circular ring. This can be like torus, or you can say it is donut. What it would be, the shape is somewhat like this. Suppose you are having a pipe, and if you are closing it like this, so this is the shape of a torus or donut, and over which the wires are wound just like this, and these wires should be close enough. And for this, what you have to do, it would be better to write large number of circular turns of in place of this, what you can write an enameled or insulated wire. That would be better to write at the place of this. So this is better to write over there. Here it has inner radius, say small r, and this outer radius, say RO and RI. The average radius is somewhere here, say R average or simply R. So all the fields are enclosed within this. And if these all in ideal solenoid, inside the core, the field is uniform and strong, and outside this, the magnetic field is zero. Here outside magnetic field is zero, even here in open space it will be zero. That is what we have. So this can be viewed as, this particular toroidal solenoid can be viewed as a solenoid which has been bent in a shape to close on itself. So when a solenoid is somewhat like this, and if you are going to join the two ends, you are going to see the same thing what you are getting in toroid. So that is what we have. We are going to see the cross-sectional view of it. So cross-sectional view is somewhat like this. Suppose this is the inner core and this is the outer one, outer end. So we are going to draw somewhat like this, inner one, and this is outer one. Here what you see, from outer side the field wires are coming. So wires are coming, so it can be shown by dot. Use this pen. So it can be used by dot. And inner side it is cross, it is going inside, so we are going to use as cross. Like this. So if you are going for the direction of field, what you see, it would be in the form of circular loop within this, inside the coil. Just like here also in solenoid it was inside the coil. So here also the field would be somewhat like this, and you can draw the field inside the core as this in the form of circular ring, and it should be not only one but about this particular line it is in the form of cylindrical or cylinder, or you can say the circular. This just like torus, you can say it is being made as like this. So this is the field what I am drawing here, and if you see as per circular loop, the loop is somewhat like this, so thumb is downward. In this case it is clockwise, the field direction is clockwise. This is what I am showing the direction of. It is clockwise for this case. This is the figure or picture of toroid, and this is the cross-sectional view of the toroid. These are the wires through which the current is coming out, and it is going inside somewhat like this, what is shown there. And as using right hand rule, we can say the fields are in clockwise direction, magnetic fields. It is confined within the core of this. So magnetic field clockwise, that is shown. This is inner radius or inner edge, and this is outer radius of this one, of the core. What we have within these two, the fields are confined. Let the magnetic field is of magnitude, strength of magnitude B. Current is I. Here one thing, toroid is hollow circular ring over which a large number of circular turns I had written. This is circular only when it is ideal. These turns are actually, if you see practically, it is helical, not circular. So it means it is extending or moving forward. So ideally, this turns should be circular, but practically what we can say, it should be helix, in form of helix. Second thing, inside the core, the magnetic field in core here is uniform and strong. That is what we have. And outside, the magnetic field is 0. So inside core, magnetic field is B, and outside, what is the magnetic field value? That should be 0. Ideally. Practically, there must be some value of magnetic field outside. And ideally, these should be, all the wires turns should be very close to one another or just touching. So these are the difference. Ideally, these coils are circular, and practically it should be helical. And inside the core, magnetic field is B. Outside the core, the magnetic field is 0 ideally, but practically there must be some value of magnetic field even outside. So that is what we have. So you can remove this circular term if you are not writing ideally. So this circular words must be used for ideal one only. So in ideal case only we can use circular, otherwise it should be helical. That is what. Now we are going to see the magnetic field at different points of the solenoid. Suppose in the open space inside here, say at P inside, outside say at any point Q, inside the core, say at any point S. So at these 3 points we are going to find out the magnetic field using Ampere's circuital law. This is in the open space inside this. This is outside the toroid in open space, and S is inside in the core or in the confined zone where the magnetic field is existing. So let's try to see the actual value of magnetic field to be determined with the help of Ampere's circuital law. Here, this is the cross-sectional view of a toroid. This wire is coming from here, going inside. Again, one turns are overlapped over the given torus. N number of turns in the toroid, number of turns of wire, or there I current switch turns. Suppose I coming from here going in, again I come from going in, like this. We would like to find out the magnetic field, say at any point here inside, say this is point P. It is in the open space inside the toroid at P. Here, this is the point P. Say at any distance from here, this is small r, from the center of the toroid. We use Ampere's circuital law to find out the field. So here we are going to draw an Amperian loop. This is the Amperian loop, the circular one. This is Amperian loop. I'm writing here or here also. So you can write Amperian loop of radius r. And here the point P is on the Amperian loop, you can see. Then we know as per Ampere's circuital law, integral B dot dl is equal to mu naught times net current crossing the area of it, area of the loop, so over there. So what we see, none of the wire is crossing it. All wires are outside this domain. So we can say no wire is crossing the area, so net current passing or threading or piercing this is 0. So let's try to write this integral, say B into dl into cos of the angle. We do not know what is the value of magnetic field at here. Say this is B1. Due to symmetricity, we can say all the places here also the magnitude of magnetic field remains same whatsoever it would be. So B into dl into cos theta is equal to mu naught times I net. What I had said, none of the wire is crossing this area, so net current is 0. So whatsoever be the value of B, that remains constant. Here we are assuming B1, so B1 is always the same over there, integral dl cos theta equal to 0. This is constant, so what we get here, B1 is equal to 0. So what is the result? Here the inference drawn is the net magnetic field in the open space inside the toroid is 0. That is what the result is. So here you can write the inference yourself. What you will write? The net magnetic field in the open space inside the toroid is 0. That you are going to write yourself. I am not going to write it. Now we are going to see the magnetic field outside the toroid. Now the second is magnetic field outside the toroid. Here at Q, outside it. It is at a distance, once again say RO, or simply you can say R. That is up to you, the variable value. Here of this radius we are going to draw an Amperian loop. So it would be somewhat like this. If you draw an Amperian loop, it is somewhat like this. So this is what you are getting. Now, if you are going to see here the magnetic field say BO, as per the symmetry of the toroid and the arrangement or wire, whatsoever turn also there, due to symmetry we can say the magnetic field at it on this particular Amperian loop so assumed is always a constant. and it would be tangents if it is so. Whatsoever is there, that should be constant on Amperian loop due to symmetry one. So here outside it is once again integral BO dot dl is equal to mu naught times net. So here, this is the formula, integral B dot dl equal to mu naught I net. Here also B dot dl for the whole. Here B integral B naught dl cos of the angle theta. Right now, first of all, we have to know the value of magnetic field. So that we do not know at this particular value, let us try to see what it would be. Accordingly, we are going to place it. Here, this is mu naught I net. That I net should be checked once. Here, what you see, the number of turns which is going to cross this, the area of this Amperian loop, outer Amperian loop. This is the Amperian loop what we have. Amperian loop. If this toroid has n number of turns, then same number of wires are coming out as well as going in. So what we can say, net current going inside the loop area is equal to net current coming out of loop area. So if total n number of turns, I is the current through each of the turn, then what we can say, the net current will be Ni coming out, Ni going in. So net current is Ni minus Ni, that equal to 0. Here the feature is different. Here wires are coming out, currents are coming out and going in. So the net current value is equal to 0 due to cancellation effect. So in this case, this value is going to be substituted here, and again here the value is going to be, and B naught, whatever value of B naught, that should be constant. So we are going to take it out. So this is the thing what we are going to place here. Here B naught integral dl cos theta is equal to 0, and this whatsoever the value, B naught is always 0. See, here also the inference remains same. The magnetic field outside the toroid is 0. So in both the cases, in open space outside as well as in open space inside the toroid, the magnitude of magnetic field is 0. That is what we had shown using Ampere's circular law. Now the third thing we are going to show, the magnetic field inside the core of the toroid. Let's try to see that. Now the third is magnetic field in the core of toroid at S. S I have drawn here. It is the, here, this is the average radius of the toroid as well. That is inner plus outer divided by 2, that you can say so. Now once again we are drawing the Amperian loop here of this radius. That Amperian loop will be overlapping this particular magnetic field as well. This magnetic field line what I had drawn. So here the Amperian loop as well as magnetic field both are at one circular Amperian loop, as well as this is also field is also there in circular way, circular fashion. So let's try to see here. Let the magnetic field in the core at this point is B. This is point S. So inside the core magnetic field is B, so B dot dl is equal to mu naught times I net. We know due to symmetry the field lines are like this as shown. So field lines are tangential, so it is in this direction. This is the direction of magnetic field. Now we are also traversing the same way. If we take dl, dl is also in the same direction. We are traversing clockwise, say. True. Traversing this to cover up the loop. So dl and b are in same direction. So what we can write here, integral b into dl into cos 0 degree is equal to mu naught times net current. What would be net current? Net current, once again, suppose we are traversing clockwise, so we are going to put the curl of the fingers like this. So this is somewhat like this, and now thumb is inside. So if current is going inside, that will be positive. So what we see, the area of the Amperian loop what we had chosen is this. Now how many, which wires are crossing this area? Only this one, the cross zone. Out, this all dots are outside this Amperian loop area. So if n number of turns are there, total current crossing in is Ni. We have to think whether this Ni is positive or negative. I is the current through each other turn. N number of turns we had already chosen. So these Ni currents are crossing or going inside. Now we have to think whether this Ni is positive or negative. Curl of the fingers are like this. Thumb is inside. The current inside for this particular traversal is positive. And all the currents are going inside. So these will be treated as positive. So here we are treating plus Ni. B, due to symmetry, what we can say, the magnitude of field at all this particular Amperian loop is always constant. So we can say B integral dl is equal to mu naught times Ni. Now the integral dl, the length of this particular Amperian loop. So this of radius, our average radius r, so this is equal to 2 pi r. So we can do it as B into 2 pi r is equal to mu naught times Ni. So B is equal to mu naught Ni divided by 2 pi r. So this is what we have, the magnitude of magnetic field inside the core. B is not a not constant value inside the core. It is non-uniform inside the core. Here this B is non-uniform inside the core with the variation distance with respect to average radius, the value of B is changing. Now if the width of this is much smaller than r, then it can be taken as almost uniform. If r is greater than the width of this, generally somewhere it is written area, but area cannot be compared with distance, so we can say the width of is less than r, then we can ignore variation in B. Ignore variation. It is assumed to be constant, we can say so. Ignore variation. In this case, what we have, a parameter called number of turns per unit length. If for average radius, the number of turns crossing or coming out is n, then we can take a term called n, small n, that is number of turns per unit circumference boundary or Amperian loop over there, that is this. This is called number of turns per unit length of the circumference over there. So in that case, this n by 2 pi r can be taken as small n, and the result will be reducing to B is equal to mu naught I, and this is equal to mu naught Ni. So this is what we have. We can compare these two are, this is also alike to the formula in solenoid, but actually there is number of turns per unit length, here number of turns by divided by the length of that particular average circumference over there or loop where we are finding out the magnetic field. Now there are uses of this. What are the uses of this particular toroid? It is used in synchrotron. Synchrotron is advanced form of cyclotron. Synchrotron. Actually, combination of straight solenoid and this is used, toroid is used to generate high value of magnetic field. Second is used in tokamak. Second use is, actually it is tokamak. What is used? So actually tokamak is a toroidal apparatus used for plasma confinement in fusion power reactor. Actually it is related to magnetic bottle. We are going to learn motion of charged particle in magnetic field. You can Just after that we can learn this, and there will be explanation of this particular toroidal solenoid as well. So let's try to see some numericals based on it. Let's try to see numericals on this. Simple numericals you can do easily direct by substitution method if you are getting. One question from NCERT I had taken. A toroid has a core non-ferromagnetic or non-magnetic of inner radius is given. Suppose this is the toroidal inner and outer radius. The inner radius given, that is 25 centimeter, and outer radius, though this should be very small, you can say very near to one another, that is the outer one. This is 26 centimeter. Around which 3500 turns, the number of coil, that is here wrapped, is number of turns n is equal to 3500. Und here, if the current in the wire is 11 ampere, what is the magnetic field outside the toroid? We had just seen if point Q, what we had seen, then part A, outside the magnetic field is 0. We had seen it. No, if we draw an Amperian loop, total current going in, coming out are same. So net current is 0, that is why magnetic field is 0. Inside the core we were getting magnetic field B. And we know what is the formula. B is equal to mu naught n divided by 2 pi r into I. We have mu naught is 4 pi 10 to the power minus 7, n 3500, I is 11 ampere, divided by 2 pi r, this is 2 pi into r. Here inner and outer radius are given, so mean radius we have to find out first. So mean radius is 25 plus 26 divided by 2 into 10 to the power minus 2 meter in SI system. So that is what it is, 25 point, you can say 25 point, or this is around 51 by 2 into 10 to the power minus 2. So this is 51 divided by 2 into 10 to the power minus 2. These two cancelled out and pi cancelled out. So finally it is around, if you calculate 3.01, this is around 3, or you can say 3.01 into 10 to the power minus 2 Tesla. That is what you are going to get over there. So this is the magnetic field inside the core. If you calculate, this is around that one. So next part, the C. In the empty space surrounded by a toroid. Empty space somewhere here. Here also, if you draw an Amperian loop, none of the wire is crossing it. So we know that if none of the wire crossing, so net B dot dl is 0, so it's quite obvious B is 0 in third case as well. So this is the way in which you can find out the magnetic field due to a toroid. So in next class we are going to see the next topic.